On Sunday, the High Representative sent a letter to fellow foreign ministers saying that Javad Zarif, the Iranian foreign minister, had told him that Iran did not intend to take any escalatory steps regarding the JCPOA. And then almost immediately afterwards, Mr. Zarif went to Twitter saying that Iran felt no longer bound by the number of centrifuges it operates. How do you explain that? Has there been a deep misunderstanding in the phone call?
Thank you for this question. First of all, you know the long-standing position of the institution, and specifically European Commission, that we are not commenting on alleged leaks or on reports on alleged internal communication, which is among the member states and institutions, or which is supposed to be among them. So on this, I really cannot say anything. If there is any correspondence and communication between the institutions and their representatives and the member states, then this communication is supposed to stay among them and not being commented in public, so I really cannot comment on the first part of your question. And second part of your question, also, it was tackled already yesterday. The announcement of Iran to scale down its commitments have been received with concern from our side, and we repeated on numerous occasions already from different levels the need for Iran to go back to the full implementation of the commitments stemming from the nuclear agreement. But we also said at the same time that although these announcements are very worrying, what is important is the verification of the deeds and actions on the ground as verified by the IAEA.
Follow-up?
Did you learn of Iran's decision only through the communication from the Iranian government on Sunday? The official communication?
Again, as I try to explain continuously, we are not providing public commentary on the working methods and small steps and procedural steps in our everyday work, which entails, of course, a lot of diplomatic contacts, conversations, and exchange of opinions in many different ways.
Absolutely, yes.
I take it more as your reflection or speculation whether the two issues are linked or not. What is important for us regarding the nuclear agreement with Iran, and we said it right from the start, this was a very important result of diplomatic efforts. This was the example how diplomacy can achieve results is if all the parties remain engaged and are ready to comply with the commitments. During the conversation between HRVP and Minister Zarif on Saturday, they both touched upon and discussed the importance of preserving this agreement because it is a cornerstone of the non-proliferation architecture and stability and security in the wider region and has implications basically for the whole world. So what we as Europeans were always trying to do and are all still trying to do is to bring back Iran to the full compliance with the commitments stemming from this agreement. On your, I think it was second point regarding the announcement, I think we reacted to it. The reaction was quite clear from HRVP, and we continue urging Iranians to go back to the full compliance. And on your first question, the extraordinary FAC was called as an internal working instrument of the EU in terms or in the area of foreign policy to discuss the new very tense developments. And for the HRVP, it's important to have these exchanges internally with the ministers of foreign affairs on behalf of whom he is speaking, to also seek guidance. How do we want to proceed and what is the role of the EU in this if we want to achieve more engagement, more de-escalation and less tension. So Minister Zarif coming to Brussels to continue engagement with specifically HRVP has no direct link to the FAC, but of course it's in the framework of the recent developments. And on the invitation, as I said yesterday, there is understanding that there is interest to continue in the mutual engagement, and once everything will be in place for this visit to take place, we will announce it, and it doesn't have to be necessarily before the FAC or during the FAC or immediately after the FAC, but again, the sooner the better, because the escalation is very, very important in this sense. As I said again yesterday, so many things are going on and so many things are developing that at this stage I'm not going to confirm something that might happen in the next few hours because discussions are ongoing. This meeting on Libya will be also an opportunity to discuss, as I mentioned, some other things. There might be, different agreements made or discussions done on other steps and following steps. So we are in a situation when one meeting leads into another, one initiative leads into another, and that's why, again, I'm urging also for your patience a little bit with us in announcing and confirming stuff because things are really developing very fast. So that's on this side, and the same with the JCPOA. I mean, if the situation is really that dramatic, then it's in our own interest to proceed quickly. So there are activities ongoing to try to find out the solutions and try to define the next steps. So the same applies here. If the main actors agree, and main actors in this case are E3 and Russia as well, of course, if they agree that they want to have a meeting, we are happy to continue our role as a mediator and coordinator, and this is what we have been doing right from the start, and this is what HRVP has repeated in his phone call to Minister Zarif, that he is really committed to continue this mediation or this facilitation role he's been given to by the Security Council resolution. Again, as a mediator, as someone who is supposed to facilitate and make all the best efforts for the participants to proceed as they committed, it's not really up to us to comment on remarks or decision by individual parties of this agreement. But I can really just underline again one more time that the HRVP, what he stressed to Minister Zarif and what he is determined to do is to really continue to fully play his role as coordinator and keep the unity of the remaining participants of this agreement so that we can still see the JCPOA as something that can work and will be working eventually again. Again, as I said, so many activities are ongoing that I cannot either exclude or confirm for sure 100% that yes, tomorrow there will be something. But of course, all these things are being discussed among the main actors of the agreement.
Yes.